Am I the A for telling my wife the lock on my daughter's door stays until my brother-in-law and his daughters move out? Let me set the stage. My brother-in-law, Sammy, lost his home shortly after his divorce about 10 months ago. My wife and I agreed to let him move in with us a couple of months ago. He brought along his 18-year-old twin daughters, Olivia and Sloane. For context, my wife and I have a 16-year-old daughter, Zoe. She and her cousins have never been particularly close, but they've always been polite and got along just fine, at least before this living arrangement. Since they moved in, however, Olivia and Sloane have had absolutely no respect for Zoe's privacy. None. They walk into her room uninvited and help themselves to whatever they want. Makeup, clothes, phone accessories, school supplies, even her laptop. Zoe has complained about this countless times, and I've spoken to Olivia and Sloane, asking them to respect her boundaries. Unfortunately, my words haven't had much impact. Whenever I brought this up to my wife or Sammy, they brushed it off. My wife would say, "That's just how teenage girls are," while Sammy insisted it's normal for girls to borrow things from each other. I completely disagree. Zoe's space and belongings should be respected, but apparently, I'm the only one in the house who feels that way. The situation came to a head recently. Zoe had been saving up her money for over a month to buy a $60 million makeup kit she had her eye on. She was so excited about it when it finally arrived. But one day, she came into her room to find it ruined. One of the twins, Sloane, had taken the kit without asking and completely wrecked it by mixing all the shades together. Zoe was devastated. She came to me in tears, saying she couldn't leave anything in her room without it being stolen or ruined. I confronted my wife and Sammy about this, expecting some sort of solution or, at the very least, an apology. My wife said she'd tell Sloane to apologize. But Sammy? Sammy outright dismissed the situation. He said, "My daughters aren't thieves. It's normal for girls to borrow each other's things." Then he had the audacity to claim Zoe could just go to Walmart and buy another makeup kit for $15, and that she shouldn't even be buying adult makeup in the first place. According to him, Zoe had a defect in her personality for wanting to appear older than she was. At that point, I'd had enough. I went out and bought Zoe a lock for her bedroom door. She'd even told me she was considering moving her valuable belongings out of the house because she couldn't trust her cousins to leave them alone. That was the final straw for me. When Sammy and his daughters saw the lock, they were furious. Olivia and Sloane were especially upset, acting as if they were being punished for no reason. Sammy confronted me about it, demanding to know why I felt the need to lock them out of Zoe's room. I didn't sugarcoat it. I told him straight up that his daughter's behavior was out of line, and the lock was to protect Zoe's privacy. Sammy doubled down, saying I was being overprotective and babying Zoe. He even suggested that I was enabling her behavior by treating her like a victim. What made me even angrier was my wife's reaction. Instead of backing me up, she sided with her brother. She said the lock was unnecessary and shamed me for making it so obvious to her nieces that they weren't trusted. She claimed I was preventing them from spending time with Zoe and that I should be treating them like my own daughters. I told her I wasn't removing the lock, period, at least not until Sammy and his daughters moved out. This comment set her off. She accused me of implying we should kick them out, saying her family would hate me if I went through with it. I reminded her that her family had already refused to take Sammy and the girls in when he lost his house. If it weren't for their unwillingness to help their own son and nieces, we wouldn't be in this situation to begin with. That shut her up momentarily, but the tension in the house hasn't gone away. Now, everyone is giving me and Zoe the silent treatment. Sammy and his daughters barely speak to me, and my wife is furious. She's upset not just about the lock, but also about the way I handled the situation, saying it's causing unnecessary drama in the family. Zoe, meanwhile, has been so much happier since getting the lock. She finally has some peace of mind and doesn't have to worry about her belongings being taken or destroyed. As far as I'm concerned, the lock stays. But my wife thinks I'm being unreasonable and making the situation worse. Sammy feels like I'm treating his daughters like criminals. So, am I the A for standing firm on this? Should I have handled things differently?